Hello everyone, I am Marcel Brown, the most trusted name in technology. As part of our ongoing 15-year celebration, I am interviewing a lot of my early clients, and I'm here with John Celuch of Inland Design. John is actually a very special client because one, he was my very first client way back before I started full-time in business. So when I was still doing this on the side, John was my very first client. John also had the original cassette tape of the lost Steve Jobs speech, which ended up for both of us being on the National Geographic show Diggers. Long story. You can look that up and you'll see about that. So John, way back when, do you remember how we first met and what I started helping you with?
I remember it was your father, Steve Brown, who was a photographer at the Intelligencer, that I would frequently call upon to do some photography projects. And I happened to mention one day that I was having an issue with a computer. Of course, we had a Macintosh back then, and I directed the problem. He directed me to you, and I directed you to the problem, and that began the whole relationship.
Yeah. So, as often is the case, a lot of creative people use Macintosh computers. That's how I got a lot of my early clients, was just through finding a lot of the creative professionals in the area. And one of the great things about that is knowing creative professionals. I remember one thing you told me, it was about probably a year or so before I went full-time into business. You said something along the lines of, if you get serious about this business, come talk to me about branding. And that I think was very important because it helped me set myself apart from a lot of the other technology people that didn't necessarily have very good marketing ideas. Do you remember that?
Definitely. I remember you needed to. I suggested that we sit down and develop an image for you, and I can remember it was a blue card with silver, and there was a techno-looking icon character, and you used that for quite a while.
Still using it to this day.
Yeah.
So, speaking of 15 years ago, now I understand that this is actually your 40th year in business. So that's quite a long time. If you can look back 15 years ago and even back 40 years ago, how has technology changed your business?
Oh, that's an amazing story. I remember I would occasionally I'd have a conversation like this with someone else, and I would always end up saying the same thing, that to hire a designer on my staff and equip them, they needed a drawing table, a T-square, a triangle, and an X-Acto knife, and spray glue and wax. And it cost about $500 for the things I needed, or a designer needed to work. And then Macintosh came along in 1984, and I remember going to the Apple Center, a technology center over in St. Louis. Apple invited designers, business owners who were designers, to introduce the Apple Macintosh, and it was met with mixed emotion. I think the older you were, the less willing you were to embrace the technology. And I remember I was one of the old guys in the room, and there were a bunch of old guys, so we were probably in our early 40s. It takes me back to my college days. There was a group of individuals in the design department that were really technology oriented, and we used to accuse them of saving the world with the computer. I don't know if it saved the world, but it changed the business dramatically. And since we deal with so much publishing, or did back then, it affected the printing business. So you constantly had to be keeping up with all the technology that was going on, because you couldn't get the work done without it.
Yeah, it definitely is the case now. Publishing has gone so far from literally copying and pasting, cutting and pasting paper, to almost being completely, if not completely, digital to this age. So anyway, thanks for sharing your stories. Again, this is Marcel Brown and with John Celuch of Inland Design. Certainly, I'd like to hear your guys' stories on the last 15 years of technology. And thanks for watching.